When one prays for rain, one must deal with floods. A single mistake, a single IAM route, misconfiguration, and millions are in danger. And today, we will discuss what happens when trust, default settings, and security mistakes converge, and why your cloud isn't as safe as you think. The cloud, one of the premier innovations of the last century, a mystical place that bridges the gap between physical and virtual networks, delivering millions of bytes per second. It uses a storage unit, a method of communication, and even a place of transaction. All of your favorite streaming services also use the cloud, from Paramount Plus to Hulu to even HBO Max. And yet, and despite all of its wonder, it's both capable of tranquil waters and acid rain. In October 2024, a financially motivated threat actor under the moniker UUzukiii had stolen at the very least thousands and upwards of millions of customer records and accounts from Snowflake, a popular cloud database and warehouse. Their goal: extortion charges totaling $2 million USD, with large affluent companies at their mercy. But how did we get here, blindly cornered? And more importantly, was this an ATP, the likes of a nation state, or a savant teenager with a ghastly, powerful motivator? Mandiant, yes, the Mandiant, that is dealt with implicating China in 2013 for cyber espionage, had first received information about a potential database anomaly in April earlier that year. This led to Mandiant contacting the anonymous victim, let's call them Callum, about the suspicious Snowflake instance. With Callum's approval, Mandiant launched an investigation, and their findings uncovered the uncomfortable. A threat actor had hijacked user credentials by using info-stealing malware and using said credentials to exfiltrate valuable data. Mandiant had also discovered something rather peculiar in their month of investigation. Callum's organization wasn't the only one that was compromised. Approximately 165 other organizations were affected by this mass cyber attack. 164 other companies, thousands if not millions of users compromised. To Snowflake's credit, they had contacted any and all potential victims of the breach, providing both financial compensation and methodologies to protect themselves. After a full-scale investigation, of course, it was discovered that UNC 5537, and more specifically, someone who went under the pseudonym Waifu, was responsible for these attacks. Something I wish to impart you with all is that if something exists, there's both a method and a way for it to be compromised. However, these specific steps will make it far less likely that you in particular will be compromised, and are lessons we can take away from this attack. Firstly, as cumbersome as it might be, enable multi-factor authentication. During Callum's organization's exfiltration, had the company enabled MFA for all users, the breach may have been prevented. Secondly, be aware. Had Mandiant not been as expedient, and had Callum not been as responsive, the damage caused could have been far more irreversible, with every single member of the organization being implicated for a crime they never committed. And thirdly, this especially goes to those of you who are software engineers and cloud engineers. When architecting systems or code bases, ensure the concept of least privilege is always in mind. That means, at any point in time, the least amount of privilege is given to each user for their job function. No one person should have owner access, unless you want Armageddon released. Stay vigilant in the shadows. Until next time.